What's good, everybody? It's your boy the Anime Amber here, coming back at you with part 2 of What If Obito Got a Second Chance, otherwise known as The Work of Fate on Wattpad. Link in the description to the story, by the way. I just learned how to link it, so if you want to read the story for yourself, click the link in the description. Also, Discord link in the description. We had some issues with the Discord link as it was expiring after 7 days. However, we changed that setting, so the Discord link will work no matter how long ago you see or I posted this video, or whenever you see this video. The Discord link should work after 7 days. So we changed that setting around. So just let me know in the comment section if you had any issues with that. Also, you have to be verified via email. You have to verify your email to join the server. That's the only requirement we have. You don't have to be an account for a certain amount of years. You don't have to do anything else. Just verify your email address to your Discord account, just so that we know that we're not getting scammers or robots in our chat. Also, like, comment, subscribe, and we are on the road to 500 subscribers. We're about 470 to 475 right now, so we're actually pushing towards that. We're getting very close right now, so I'm really excited about that. I don't know, I might do something special, like a 2-hour, like a 2-hour something for that. I don't know yet. It's really up for debate what we're gonna do. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I respond to all comments, heart all comments, like all comments. I really do appreciate them. It makes me smile when I see the positive feedback and the love in the comment section. So yeah, without further ado, just in the spirit of keeping this one as short-winded as possible, this is your boy the Anime Ambu, and cue the intro. Minato's point of view. I know I was being weird and probably a bad sensei for thinking this, but I just had a strong feeling that Obito wasn't telling me the truth. And also the wounds, or rather the burn marks that the ninja had after fighting Obito. They were far too bad to be the fireball jutsu. It's not that I didn't trust Obito, I'm just very, very, very concerned. He does know he can come to me with his problems, right? He has been training with someone else and choosing not to tell me, but why? I didn't like it, not at all. But still, even though I was very sure that Obito was hiding something, I just couldn't believe that he used an S-class jutsu. Surely I couldn't have missed that. Excuse me, sir. Huh? I looked down and saw that it was our client, the little adorable yet so important Yukimi Mashima. Ah, yes. I was wondering, what does S-class mean? Is it something bad? Huh? Oh, no. S-class basically means extremely powerful, dangerous, high-leveled, and possibly even feared. It's used as a rank to describe the highest you can possibly achieve. It's only bad if it's an S-class criminal, or an enemy, or perhaps a traitor. But Mr. Obito's neither. He doesn't seem bad, he seems nice. She was right, and if there was any possibility that Obito was S-class, or maybe just higher than B, I couldn't possibly believe that he would be a traitor. What am I thinking? Why am I letting the words of a low-life criminal get to me? Obito's just a kid. No way he's S-class. Yes, that's right. Obito is a very good person. I reassured the little girl, and afterwards looking over towards Obito on the other side of the campfire. He was trying to start a conversation with Tashono. Seems like Tashono doesn't quite appreciate it. Obito's point of view. So, what's the story about those burn marks, buddy? Obviously you got them in a fight. That's clear to see. It doesn't matter, it's in the past now. Well, yeah, but only a couple of hours. Well, it's not important. Well, alright. After our brief little talk, I stood up and walked away from the camp. Hey, where are you going? Rin asked me, and of course, like I always do, I lied. Oh, well, nature calls. After realizing I still had my jutsu arsenal, I had to check something out. There was a lake nearby that I went to. It wasn't windy, so I could easily see my own reflection. But before I did what I was planning, I quickly scanned the surrounding areas. Not many know this, but I'm actually listed as a sensory shinobi, so after not picking up any chakra signatures, I once again stared down at my reflection on the water. I briefly closed my eyes as I took a deep breath and focused my chakra into my eyes. When I opened my eyes again, they were deep red with the black Mangekyo pattern. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that my strength is the same. Bad, because it'll be hard to hide and not to use. Good, I don't have to go through all of that training again, and it'll make things easier. Also, now I have to make up some excuse about how I somewhere along the line got the Sharingan, and probably also somewhere far into the future how I possess a Mangekyo Sharingan. I realized that must have been quite a while now, so I turned my Sharingan off and started walking back to the camp. Wow, I didn't know he had perfected that. How great for him was the first thing I heard as I walked into camp. It was Rin talking to Chishono. I sat down in the little space between them and asked what it was about. Oh, we're talking about how Chishono got his burn marks and how he was in a fight with Asuma. Asuma, what for? Did you hit on Kurenai or something? Rin giggled and Chishono suddenly got consumed in an awkward silence, and I pretty much knew what that meant. Yeah, you definitely did. Oh, there's an advertisement. Alright guys, what are we going to do for this advertisement? First and foremost, here's your water break checkup, alright? Get your water, okay? Everybody needs to hydrate, it's good for you. If you have a headache, water can fix that. Dehydration is a serious issue that we don't think about enough. Also, I don't know, do your homework if you're missing homework. Yeah, that's another thing. We'll just make this a checkpoint every time we get an ad. Do your homework. Also, if you have anything you want to do that you're thinking about doing in the future, you may as well start it today, because it's better to do it now than to do it later, because you'll just regret doing it later, you know? You'll think back in a year like, why didn't I do it a year ago? You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the checkpoint, so let's continue. Minato's point of view. It was late at night, so late that everyone was sleeping, but not me. I said that I would be watching out for the night. I needed to think, and I needed to think hard. What had I been missing? What had I been doing wrong? To be honest, I couldn't find any answers, and it was truly frustrating. I know it was a low thing to do, but only a couple of minutes after Obito had left the camp to do his business, so did I. I said I needed to get more firewood, which was true. But while I was gone, I made a shadow clone and sent it to spy a little on Obito. And sometime before he was back, the clone dismissed, and I got to see what Obito had been hiding. My clone had been sitting concealed in a tree above Obito. I was a bit far away, so I couldn't see in perfect detail, but after blinking, his reflected eyes turned from its natural soothing obsidian color to blood red, and I could see some little black dots on the outline. From living near Uchiha's my entire life, I knew what it was, at least partly. It didn't look like the usual Tomoe pattern, but what his pattern was I couldn't make out, but I knew it was bad, and something I would probably have to talk to Fugaku about. But I also needed to confront Obito about this, somehow, someday soon. It was all a big mess. My head was pounding with a headache caused by all of this. Obito was always talking and bragging about how he was an Uchiha and how he would one day awaken his Sharingan and beat Kakashi. But lately, he hadn't brought it up at all. Was it because he had awakened it? But if so, why didn't he tell us? Why didn't he tell me? Surely Obito was Obito. Would have challenged Kakashi to a spar at the very moment he awakened it. So why didn't he? What in the world happened to him? Some days later. Who is it? Thank you so much. You're all really kind to have helped me. Our client, the feudal lord's grandchild, thanked us while Tashona bowed his head in our direction. It was early, since we arrived faster than we anticipated, so we could get a head start and begin walking back towards Konoha right away. I just hoped I would get a chance to confront Obito about all of this before we reached home. Rin's point of view. It had been a little over an hour, but it was clear that something was very wrong. First of all, Minato-sensei looked really stressed and seemed to be deep in thought about something. From the look on his face, it was visible that it wasn't good, something that clearly set him on edge. Second of all, for a while I had noticed that Obito's behavior seemed to change a lot. He seemed more mature, he wasn't as loud, he didn't pick fights with Kakashi anymore. All that's good and well in the right amount, but it wasn't the right amount. It was too much. And might I add that his behavior changed a lot when it came to me. He was distant, didn't talk to me as much, and it seemed like he was uncomfortable around me. And the more I thought about it, the more it hurt. That's that chapter. Let's continue. Kakashi's point of view. I actually like how they scripted this story. Sorry for cutting for breaking so much in between, but I must say, the way that they break the point of views apart and let us know who's thinking and who's talking, I actually really like the way that it is formatted. That's super helpful for me as the reader, because now I know that this is Kakashi's point of view. I know I'm not the only one realizing it. I look around while we were walking back to Konoha. Sensei's stressed and he's constantly eyeing Obito. Obito's quiet and seems to be very uncomfortable. Rin looks rather sad, and I'm guessing it's because of Obito's sudden change. To be honest, I didn't like it either. Sure, I love the fact that Obito left me alone now and wasn't loud anymore, but something odd was going on. Actually, I hadn't thought much of it until just a couple days ago when we were attacked. Sure, Obito's an idiot and not that good at ninjutsu, but of course I knew that he could defeat an enemy of that caliber. But the thing is that criminal told us, and the injuries. Also, when the criminal told us about Obito being S-class, I saw that Obito was actually getting very nervous, might even describe it as scared. I have my theories as to why this was happening, but I didn't have enough proof yet. Obito's point of view. My world is legit crashing around me. Or rather, I'm falling apart. I'm 31 years old, but I have to act like I'm 13. That's really tough. This is the personality I'm used to have, and it's kind of just staying with me even though I'm trying to change it, and that's really bad. I'm getting far too carefree, and I've noticed everyone on the team has begun to catch on to me, especially Sensei. I wish there was someone I could talk to freely, someone who could help, because no matter the age and no matter how mature you are, being responsible for keeping the future intact is tiring and tough beyond belief. Which is why I'm starting to think if I should tell Minato Sensei the truth. Of course, keeping out a few details like I'm the one responsible for him and his wife's death. If I explained it carefully and in detail, then maybe he would help. Especially if I told him that if he helped, we could end up a bunch of people, which practically includes the entire team. What? That if he helped, we could end up a bunch of people. Okay, I'm just that little sentence was grammatically a little skewed. I digress. Let's continue. We had stopped for the night in a little clearing, and of course, different assignments were given to each of us. Start the fire, get firewood, get water, so on and so forth. Wanting some time away from the team, I volunteered to go get the firewood, which were normally what took the most time. Rin would get water, Kakashi would start the fire, and lastly, Minato would prepare the food. Explain why Minato got the easiest job. Our food was pretty much just red beans. Despite being in a forest, finding firewood was pretty hard. The ground in the forest was pretty clean, not too many branches, and the branches that were on the ground weren't dry enough. So in my search for branches, I was led to a water source, where Rin was collecting some fresh and clean water. I had noticed that the looks Rin was giving me during our travels. Sad looks mixed with a bit of confusion, and I could easily guess why. Yes, I know I've been acting rude, but I told Minato I had given up on her, which wasn't true. So I had to act like I had, and yes, that doesn't mean I have to go out of my way to just avoid her, but it's pretty hard for me to keep up the facade around Rin. Not just that, but I felt an enormous amount of guilt. The things I did, I know Rin would never accept them, and yet I said that I was doing it for her, so that I could see her again. And then I failed, and yet I'm here, standing behind her. She looked just as I remembered, acting just like she used to add even more guilt. Oops, no. Hey, I said awkwardly, not knowing how I should start the conversation. Have I done something wrong? She asked me while still collecting water, and so still having her back towards me. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I've been acting like a jerk, but it's not your fault. It's just what? She asked me with a stern tone and then turned around so she could see my face. I don't know. What was I supposed to say? I didn't have any good lies up my sleeve at the moment. We've been acting like best friends for years, and you've never been like this before. It's not just how you act around me, but you've changed so much, she said, and then stood up, done collecting water. Then she continued to press. Once you figured out a good and honest answer, please tell me. And then she started walking in the direction of the camp. Well, as I said, I'm no good around Rin, but what exactly should I tell her? I can't really say, I'm sorry, but I'm an S-class criminal who killed thousands of people and started the 4th grade Shinobi War. All for you, but please don't hate me. Yeah, because that's practically the recipe to getting your friend to hate you in 26 words. Is that really 26 words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is 26 words. Wow, crazy. I don't know why he didn't come up with a lie before he went to go talk to Rin. Insane. You'd think, being an S-class criminal, you might be able to pull out something. Just whip up something on the spot, you know? But no. Obito's not like that. He's just incompetent, apparently. Let's continue. Obito's point of view. I don't know what's going on with you, but cut it out, Kakashi demanded me in a stern tone. After getting back to the camp, Kakashi had literally dragged me away out in the forest, apparently to tell me to cut it out. You want me to change from who I am? No way. I sounded angry. Ha, as if. You're already ahead on that one. You're not yourself, he said and pointed an accusing finger towards me. At that I stayed quiet, truly angering myself. I spent over 17 years living an utter and complete lie. But now that I realized my mistakes, the guilt was getting to me and I couldn't think clearly. Actually, ever since Naruto released the 10 tails from me, I wasn't able to think 100% clearly. But being sent back in time surely did the job. Look who's talking. I finally spoke up after a couple moments of silence. Excuse me? Kakashi said in a voice that sounded both shocked and angry. I've noticed. Lately you haven't talked me down or picked on me at all. And I continued to tell him. I wasn't sure why he was acting different, but I suspected that it had something to do with what I did. Probably from starting to be nice to him. Like how I live my life is any of your business, he said judgmentally and irately. He sure did like to keep private. Well, in that case, then how I live my life is none of your business either. Now it was Kakashi's turn to keep quiet. I was about to leave, but then he said something that shocked me. I'm not an idiot. Whatever's going on with you, I'll figure it out in due time. Why do you care so much all of a sudden? He looked me dead in the eyes and said, It's not that I care. I just want to make sure that you're not a threat. And with that, he walked past me, heading towards the camp. Man, that's whack. Damn, he said a threat. Well, I stood trying to process what just happened. Am I really that obvious? I began going through everything I had done since the day I came back to this time. And yes, I found many flaws. While trying to be like my past self, I unconsciously began acting more and more like me, aka my future self. In other words, I'm using my brain too much and being way too hasty when it comes to jutsu, or just fighting in general. Why is this so hard? I thought to myself in frustration. I was fairly sure that the reason I haven't been on the right track is because of guilt and stress. I don't just feel guilty about what I've done in the future, but the fact that I got the nerve to even call Minato sensei. Yes, it's for the greater good and for the plan in the future, but it's tearing away at me. And stress due to the bitter fact that Kanabi Bridge mission was getting near only in 1 week. Wait, why am I so nervous? I mean, if I can carry out a plan to start an intern war, I surely also can avoid an ambush, I told myself in my mind, but I guess I'm not the same that I used to be in the future. My courage and self-esteem crumbled, and it's not that easy to build it up again. No cap. Sorry. We all finished eating our rations, but it wasn't like it used to be. Normally, we would all chat and talk about missions, private life, or just completely random stuff, but today, everyone was quiet, and I'm not a fool. I know very well that it was my fault. I wasn't a comfortable silence. It was a thick, intense one. I was splitting the team exactly like I had done in the original timeline. Maybe I should let them in on all of this. Maybe they would understand. No, at least not yet. Minato's point of view. Everyone was quiet, creating a thick tension around us, and I decided it was enough. Listen, guys, I think we need to talk, I said, and the 3 kids looked up at me, waiting for me to continue. You're all acting strange, and you're not yourself, especially you, Obito. You're the one I'm most concerned about. Quiet. They all stayed quiet, and Obito also averted his gaze back to the ground, holding his right hand and his left hand, clenching them hard, clearly being stressed. Kakashi continued to look at me with the same tired look as always, while Rin, who also still looked at me, began rubbing her left shoulder, looking like she was nervous. Kids, please talk to me, I'll listen. I told them, hoping that at least one of them would open up, or rather, I was hoping Obito would open up. I suspected that Rin and Kakashi's behavior was affected by Obito, but I didn't want to call out Obito on his own, so I'm making Rin and Kakashi part of it as well. Well, not with them knowing, of course. When the quietness continued, I decided to cut to the chase. Okay, anyways, Obito, how is it going with you and your family? I asked, hoping he would reveal something regarding his newly awakened Sharingan and that he tried to keep hidden from us. What do you mean? He asked me confused, probably also confused as to why I would drop the last subject so easily. Well, it's no secret that you aren't really accepted by the other Uchihas. Has that changed? He only looked at me more confused, but also slightly offended. Huh? No way, why would it have changed? I don't know, maybe there was cast new lights over the case or something. Well, there haven't. They're all still as arrogant as always. He said, and at that, I began to feel sorry for him again, but he looked sad. My parents died when I was little, but at least I have a couple memories of them. Well, Obito has nothing, and on top of that, he has No, he's the outcast of his clan. All because he didn't awaken his clan's Kikigenkai fast enough for their liking. Want me to talk to them about it? I offered in a friendly voice. Maybe that's why he didn't say anything about his Sharingan, because he was angry at the Uchihas, and therefore also at himself. When the village was founded, one of the agreements was that the Hokage can't interfere with the Uchiha clan. So even if I wanted you to, you can't. Where did that come from? First of all, how does he know of the agreement? Second of all, I might be in line to be, but I'm not the Hokage. Obito, but I'm no Hokage. When I said that, he twitched with a bolt of shock that quickly was gone again. Of course I know, but if not even the Hokage can interfere, what makes you think that you can, when you're just an average Jonin to them? Please, don't try to argue, they won't listen, and then I'll be scolded for it later. Why do you even stay? If it's that bad, move away. Kakashi joined in on the conversation, actually shocking me since it was a conversation about Obito's well-being. It's what I know. They may be jerks, but they're family. Also, it's not everyone that's mean. Some are actually nice. Did it really only stay because of their blood relation? Doesn't really sound like a soothing life, Kakashi said, and I was ready to scold him. Just a little bit for that comment, but then Obito said, it isn't, but it is what it is, and at least I can choose how much time I use at home and how much time I use roaming the village. Obito's point of view. I had to be really careful now. I had almost just failed. I made the mistake of comparing Minato with being Hokage, which he practically is in my mind, in my memory, but not in this timeline. And they were also starting to talk about my clan. It's true that when I actually was that age, I stayed because it was the only thing that I knew as home. But now I'm staying to stop the Uchiha coup d'etat before it can grow into a problem. I don't actually know when it all started, so from my knowledge, it could already be underway. I just hope that Itachi won't have to dirty his hands like he did in my timeline. Also, I'm making my personal mission to get Danzo out of the way. He's got a bad habit of destroying all plans that aren't his, and of course stealing Sharingan. Well, this time I won't let him. I should really make a notebook where I just write everything I need to fix. Prevent Kanabi Bridge, prevent Rin from getting kidnapped, make sure Madara dies, seal Black Zetsu, destroy the Geto statue, prevent Uchiha coup d'etat and thereby preventing the massacre, make sure Kakashi saves Yamato/Tenzo, reform Orochimaru, and I'm sure there's more, but I can't come up with more right now. I thought and mentally noted everything. Kakashi's point of view. Well, this is new. When we got home from the mission, Obito was still the same state, stressed and uncomfortable. And out of the blue, he just began walking home. So what do? I follow him, of course. And what happens? He senses me and invites me in. So now I'm sitting in front of a very distressed Obito in his house that practically looks like a war zone. Scrolls are everywhere. Reports are scattered along with books, maps looking to have been marked area on a table, and on the wall is a calendar with a big red circle around a specific date next week. What is all of this? What have you been doing? I asked him, almost awestruck at what I'd seen. Preparation. Preparation for what? He was staring at the table saying nothing, trying his hardest to avert my gaze, but in the end our eyes locked and I saw that his eyes lacked their shine. They looked tired, resembling eyes of a grown man who had seen too much. Our coming mission. He finally answered and it shocked me, though I didn't show it. I didn't think Obito prepared for the missions. But why? Is this something you've done long? I asked. Not long, on your perspective, but for me, it's been a very long time. What's that supposed to mean? Obito, can't you just tell me the truth? You want the truth? Okay, I'll tell you what's going on, but you'll keep it between us, got it? I nodded. Was he finally going to tell me what's been going on with him? I'm not who you think I am. Don't get me wrong, I am Obito Uchiha, but not the one you know. What in the world was he talking about? This may seem crazy, but I'm 18 years into the future. Okay, you've officially lost your mind. I told him there's no way. Time travel isn't real, I continued. Obito sighed and began scratching his head, surely figuring out how to make me believe the obvious lie. Listen, you don't have to believe me, just don't tell Sensei, I'm begging you. I wanted to tell Sensei, but something deep inside me told me to believe in Obito, so despite not completely believing him, I started to question him. Let's say if what you're saying is true, why come to this time? As a matter of fact, I had no control over the situation that brought me here, but I guess since it's here, everything began. What do you mean? In just a few days, you're officially promoted to Jonin on this date. pointed to the calendar. You'll lead our team on our first mission without Sensei, and it goes bad. Bad how? What's the mission anyways? The mission was simple. Destroy Kanabi Bridge. We were ambushed, and Rin was kidnapped for interrogation by Stone Ninja. I went after her while you went on with the mission, but when I got to where they had taken her, a small cave in the forest, you had followed me. By pushing me out of the way of an attack, you lost your left eye, and I awakened my Sharingan. Is that all? I lost an eye? That's no big deal. You're right, for a shinobi, a lot of things are much worse than that. But that's not where it ended. We still needed to save Rin. And we did by fighting her kidnappers, but one escaped and he used an earth style to make the cave collapse. You fell unconscious when a rock hit you from your blind spot. I threw you out of the way just before a giant rock fell from the roof, completely crushing my right side. I sat wide-eyed. I still wasn't sure if I should believe him, but he seemed so sincere and honest. If that truly was from the future, then continue, I told him. I was desperate to hear what happened. As he said, he was from 18 years into the future, but this was an event that would happen in a week, which meant he survived. Right, well, I blamed myself for what happened to your eye, and therefore I gave you my Sharingan eye to replace the eye you lost. You fought the remaining enemy, and then the cave continued to crumble, so I was completely buried. I was saved by another Uchiha, who was thought to be dead many, many years ago. However, he was evil. I'm pretty sure you'll know who he is if I say the name Madara Uchiha. Sorry guys, my throat getting dry. How is that possible? Madara died ages ago, fighting the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. There's no way that he survived. I shot at him. It was unbelievable. I understand that. Trust me, there's no mistaking it. Please, trust me. You'll never believe just how powerful Madara truly is. Obito, I believe him. Obito's telling the truth, but how? The world just doesn't work that way. Time travel is supposed to be impossible. Okay, but still, back to the starting point. How did you do it? How did you time travel here? It was when I died. I suppose my soul was transferred here, a mere moment after my death. But why? Why was it me? I'm finna finish this. Alexa, turn on. Alright, I'm finna finish this chapter for y'all. Oh no, this chapter's long. You're right. Alright. Yo, I think we're gonna end it here. In the midst of Obito telling Kakashi what happens in the future. Because Cliffhanger. Yes. This is the change that we've been talking about. These are the decisions that were made in private that you don't know about. Cliffhangers will become a regular thing now. We will always leave you on a cliffhanger so that you come back for more, okay? So come back for part 3 of What If Obito Got a Second Chance. We're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. I hope you guys know I'm joking. But yeah, so this is part 2 of What If Obito Got a Second Chance. Like, comment, subscribe. Discord link in the description. Also, the story link is as well in the description. If you guys want to read this for yourself, or maybe you don't like the way that I read this story, that's okay. No offense. You can read it for yourself. Discord link in the description. You should join. All you need is to verify your email. Please just verify your email so you can join. You have a great time over there. The Discord people know everything before you guys do. They know when I'm going to upload. They know when I'm going to record. They help me with thumbnails. They help me with intros. If you guys want to send me something personally, go to the Discord. Message me personally. I add all the people that join the Discord channel anyways back. So yeah. I think that's about it for me. So yeah. This is your boy, the Animambu. I'm out. Deuces.